shit before we even go live. So you already know we
Talking
have to go
facts, not
live.
shit.
I hate doing this, man. Like we talking all that mess before the live, and then you don't say anything. Hold on, let me see.
Can
Let's.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, just making sure.
Uh Man, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me make sure we're doing good over here. Let me check that live real quick. Here it goes. We good.
All right,
All right, man.
cool.
So today, man, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's a little bit early, but we want to leave this on the camera because this boy is talking mess already. Pull out what you did. What you showed me right now before the live.
Coin check them.
Coin check,
Challenge
huh?
coin.
Look, the
Yeah.
good thing, watch this. You ass got me my first fucking time.
Yes, I
Coin
did.
check, right? Look at this right here. What is it? I see two
Oh
stars right
wow.
there.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I could go higher if we want
No,
me to
no, no,
run
no, no. Right
downstairs,
now,
but
what
you
you got
beat
on your
me.
head?
You beat me.
What you got on your hand?
Oh, company. Hey, this is when I
Ah,
won Soldier of the Quarter.
go and
But you
check,
beat me.
motherfucker. One
I
time
owe
you
you.
pay. You see?
Come find me when you have up to 4 stars or a
uh,
SecDef coin.
well,
But yeah, you
I
beat me
don't have
today,
one.
bro.
Hey, you know what? Actually, I had the chance to get a four-star coin, but it was not gonna be the right way.
Yeah,
Whenever we were in Guantanamo, I was in charge of security, right?
yeah,
So FBI, CIA would go into Guantanamo from time to time, and the FBI, the person that was in charge of the FBI, she always tested me, like through the point, like at the gate, and I never failed any of the tests. They were trying to go in with fake papers, fake credentials, this and that, and I
yeah.
always got them. And then she will have to calm down, and so I can release their people. So I was the first one to be presented with an FBI coin, man.
Dude, that's awesome.
It got the Pentagon on it. On one side is all gold and black, and on the back is also all gold FBI. So no one
That's dope.
else had an FBI coin but me. I was a sergeant at the time. They were
That's
trading
awesome.
me two four-star general coins for the FBI coin, man. Like I was like, but I didn't deserve the four-star. Like, well, coin check, you got it though. You're not having.
Yeah.
But nah,
So
I could
this
have
one's special. This is the first when I went to Soldier of the Month when I was a private in Iraq. So this one's a little more special to me. It's from my
Oh,
old company commander and first sergeant when I won the board.
okay. So look, we got a comment real quick. Loco Siete, Loco. He says, heard the expression on coin check before, but never heard the why. He wants to know why we do a coin check.
Okay, so there's a couple of versions of the story. I'm going to go with the more common version. So during World War II, when
Yes.
some lieutenant was graduating with his class from OCS before they went to the war, he was a little richer, so he bought some coins for him and his boys, saying, "Hey, we graduated. This is it." So one of the guys got captured by I think the Nazis or the Italians. Is the way I understand the original story. And once we got him out, they were like, "Well, we need proof that you are who you say you are." And he's like, "I don't have my dog tags anymore, and I don't have my uniform because I've been in a prison for a little while." So he's like, "But I do have a coin that he was hiding somewhere." And so he pulled out. He's like, "This is to anybody that graduated in my class at West Point years and years back." And they were able to verify who he was by that coin. And so that's how it first came about. And so the tradition is there's two ways of going about it. So what I did to Juan just a minute ago was I'd get through a coin check on him. So what happens is there's two ways to play. You can play by I throw you down a coin, and if he doesn't have a coin, he owes me a beer. Or you can go the other way, which still I lost either way. We throw down and see who has the bigger coin. Meaning by bigger, we're talking about who's got the most stars with it, or something of that nature. And then that's how you again determine who you owe the beer to. And you do
All right,
this
so
usually in military functions. So it's like usually you'll have a bunch of soldiers, and then they all just start dropping down their coins, and then it's can get to be a wild night with a lot of alcohol.
So let me tell you, loco. So this is why I carry a coin now because this motherfucker. Uh, when I first came out of the military, well, when I first came out of a basic training, of course I had to go visit my family in San Antonio. So I went to check them out, and we were at a bar or we were drinking at the house.
I don't remember. It was either Betty's Battalion or we were probably at the house. I want to
I
say the
don't
house.
remember, but we were drinking, loco, and you know, he's like, he grabbed the coin and slammed it on the table, and I didn't think any of it, right? Because I didn't know what a coin was, right? So I grabbed the coin and I was looking at it like, all right, cool. And he's like, where's your coin? I'm like, what the fuck you mean? And like, this is a coin check. I like, well, I don't got one of these. He's like, well, I guess you paying for the bill. I like, you motherfucker. So ever since, as soon as I got my first coin, I always put it in my wallet. And you lucky I just got back from eating breakfast and I got my wallet on me, motherfucker. I didn't even think you were gonna coin check my ass.
I
But
figured I'd give it to you. I thought this would be a good way to start
yeah, that's good. That's good.
it.
So man, we got two people watching, man. Come on, it's 11:28. We're not 11:30 yet. But
Yeah,
again, man, we got
it's the
Dereck
pre-show.
Salinas. Dereck, you want to introduce yourself, man?
All right, so hi, my name is Dereck Salinas, old friend of the family. This is my cousin Juan. We've known each other for years. I'm also I was in the Army from 2005 to 2010. Then I joined the Army National Guard immediately after with no break in service. So I'm now at 18 years. My rank is now Staff Sergeant in the Guard. I've got 3 deployments, 2 to Iraq, 1 to Mosul, which was the first one, 15 months. Second deployment was to An Nazariya, Cobb Adder, which was 11 months. And then my third deployment was to Djibouti, Africa. The third one was with the National Guard. Other deployments that I've had that are odd and kind of things with the National Guard is I've done a couple of deployments in response to weather emergencies here in Texas. So I've done 2 flood missions. Then I've done 1 mission set with when the the January 6th event happened. I was there. I got sent to DC. Uh, and then I also did the COVID mission when it first kicked off. So I was actually stationed in the same city as my wife when it first kicked off. And I was a platoon sergeant for that operation. And yeah, those are pretty much the big deployments I've done thus far. And if you
So
got questions about them,
I know deployments are not fun, but by far, which one is like one of the best deployments that you had?
I'm gonna say it was the my first deployment. It was with it was the Mosul. It, the whole platoon, we really meshed really well together. Um, they were really good leaders. Um, One of them died in Afghanistan. That was sad. After we had deployed, when we came back, he went on his next deployment. He died. Luis Gonzalez, a wonderful person, great NCO, one of the smartest people I've ever met. But so there's that. But I'd say it was my first deployment. Feel like there's some funny stories. So I was a PV2 when I got into Iraq, and then I got promoted to PFC, and I had just switched platoons and companies. So I was actually originally in Bravo 212 Cav, and then I was with First Cav, and then I went to Brigade and part of their PSD. So what ended up happening though was when I got promoted to PFC, and I had only known these guys for now about 3 weeks in country. So I had trained with another unit, then I came there, and then that's how it happened. All the NCOs and all the Joes beat my ass more or less. Took off my boots, took off my top, and then took off my PC. And they put it at 4 different points right around our billets. And at each one of those was one of the squad leaders who smoked me for being out of uniform.
Oh,
So I'd say there was that, and that was also the deployment that was my first one. That's where I got my CIB, that beautiful blue rifle right over there that you have. Um, So I'd say that that's always going to be the one that's special to me.
Yeah.
It's also where I picked up specialist, where I also got in a lot of trouble. And if you want to hear about it, I'll tell you.
Hey man, I
uh,
feel like everybody's first deployment is like the make it or break it in the system. Uh, when my first deployment was in 2010, I went to Afghanistan, and after they split our unit, right? We were
yeah.
attached to a CAV unit. We were in direct fire support. I was a motorman. We went from 11 Bravos to 11 Charlies because they needed 11 Charlies during the deployment. So we got trained for Charlies, and our group got split into two. One of our groups went opposite direction that we did, and they were there for 6 months. And whenever we got back, we were out in a um, it was like a 4 day mission, right?
Hmm.
So this guy was bragging about how many patrols they had, how much they went out. In compared to how much he went out to what we went out, they had way more patrols than us. They had way like it was way more, bro. The thing is, they never seen direct fire.
Oh
They never
shit.
seen direct fire. They never took contact. Us, first day, it was whenever we started getting contact. So whenever we were out, man, it was so funny. It was not funny, it was kind of fucked up at the same time. Um, we got into contact, and he's supposed to be backing me up, and he fucking just left me, bro. This
Shit.
motherfucker left me. I was returning fire. I need somebody to cover fire so I can run from one point to another one. It was like it was a truck right here. It was a trench, so I needed to get to the trench real quick. And this asshole fucking got inside the truck and left me there. So by the time I got to the trench, I couldn't move no more. I was getting pinned down by a dishka. And then I was
Uh,
pissed, bro. I was
uh,
pissed. Someone else came out. Second truck roll up. Psyops was with us. A Psyops truck got up, blocked me, got in front, and returned fire. And I was pissed, bro. I was like, motherfucker, what's wrong with you? They had never got in contact before. It was the first time this guy ever got shot at. And he was like, I like, what the fuck's wrong with you, bro? He's like, man, I thought this was gonna be like what it says, Call of Duty. He joined because he thought it was gonna be like Call of Duty, bro. That
what the
guy,
fuck?
yeah, that guy didn't make it. Like he made it back, but he got out the
No, I got
military
no.
after
I
we
got
got back.
wow.
Give me a give me a minute, real
Wow.
quick. Give me a minute, Joe. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm doing the little live right now.
Wrong alternator? Yeah. It's gonna take a week and a half to get it. $350. So I'm gonna have to call Cruz.
Hey man, if y'all watching this, we got Joe in the building. We're supposed to be fixing Cruz's car today. Apparently, we're not gonna fix Cruz's car today. uh, but anyways, man, yeah, I feel like the first deployment is the one that is gonna make or break anybody in the military. Loco Siete. Only way to fix that four is with a gallon of gas and a match. You hear
I'm with him.
I'm about to put a gallon of fucking gas.
that? uh, yeah.
Wow.
So, nah, bro, it's just what it is. Look, oh man, check this
I'm just.
out.
Oh, that's
We,
beautiful.
we got a bunch of junks over here. We pretend like this is a shop. That's my. Hey, for y'all to know, that's Joe right there in camera. Say what's up to people, Joe.
So
Uh, so yeah, we're supposed to be working on Jose Cruz is a Hall of Famer baseball player on his card, and guess we're not doing anything. Hall of Famer don't want to fix his car. uh, but yeah, man. Dan,
I'm
so
still dumbfounded by what you just told me.
what do you mean? Oh, the
Yeah, that
first.
story. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah,
That's
man.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, no, a lot of people join the military for the wrong reasons. Again, he thought that it was gonna be like a video game. I was really pissed, to be honest with you. But then
I
you
don't
can,
know if they do it for the necessarily the wrong reasons. I know what you're saying. My thing is, I think that they don't know what they're getting themselves into
yeah.
more so than anything else. And I think that the military, this is kind of how I say it. I think it amplifies our traits for the better or the worse.
But look, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm just
Um,
saying.
when I signed up for the military, I always wanted to be a soldier. But
Yep.
people always tell you, "Hey, you're doing this for your country. You're doing this." Now, at the end of the day, you know what we do it for. We do it for the guy next to us. Uh, my
Once you get
first
in there.
my first day in country, it was my first firefight. So you know that how eye opening that was. Like as soon
Oh,
as
what?
we landed to the car on the cob, a couple of hours later, we started getting shot at. Like it was quick. Like I didn't even have time to process anything, bro. Like all the training, like go run for your gear. People running just in sandals and the PT shorts, getting their position, returning fire. And I was trying to work over here to put my vest on, my Kevlar, and I got in trouble. Whenever they told me like, if you ever get shot at, don't worry about your fucking gear. Go to your point, return fire. That's all you do, bro. When I tell you, I almost pissed my pants. I almost pissed my pants. Like I didn't want anybody to see me. So after everything came down, I went to the side on the headstone and I started pissing right there. And I was like kind of shaking, bro. Like I was like, man, this shit is real. Like
So,
it kind of hits you. And then like
and
there's a middle deployment. It was so often that it's bad to say that you get used to it.
yeah,
Like
so I didn't get my CIB to my last mission actually. No
here,
bullshit. And it was we were driving in a we ended up falling behind a Iraqi EOD team. And so we saw 3 dead bodies and we were right before it was a traffic circle and we're like it was all busy and then everybody just started disappearing. So we're like, God, please hit the Iraqis, just hit the Iraqis. Hey, I mean, let's be real. I'd rather them hit them than my people because
yeah,
it is what it is. Let's be real. So I'm like, they check the dead bodies for the Iraqi EOD team, and they're like, okay, it's good. So then they drive through the traffic circle. They don't get hit, and we're like, fuck, all right, this is about to happen right now. So when our convoy was in the traffic circle, it was I think like 5 or 6 trucks. We get hit on our side, or well, on the driver's side. Um, and then we also take small arms fire immediately afterwards. So it turned into a complex attack instead of it just being an IED going off. So we're
yeah,
taking small contact and we're responding back, but we're pushing through the objective because we don't want to stay right where we are for obvious reasons.
yeah,
And then, and I say this like, thank God for the crew systems because we drove over a hard berry. So one of my buddies was in the talk that day that we were doing this and he was watching what was going on because he worked in the top. And so as the last vehicle went over the IED, we didn't see, you know what I mean? Because it was hard buried, it was digged in the ground and
yeah,
it blew up. And we all felt the blasts and we're like, shit, that one we knew. So the first IED popped a couple of the hoods, but we're like, okay, we're good. Or not the hoods, the trunk. But we just kept moving through. But when the hard berry blew up, we're like, thank God for the cruise systems because as soon as we were out of range, it blew up and we're like, somebody would have died. I mean, I hate to say it.
yeah.
It is what it is. But all my people, we all came back safe.
What were you driving
But
at the time?
we were driving the Humvee. So this is 2007.
Damn,
I
that's
want to
on
say
me.
like,
Oh yeah,
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 2007. So we're talking about the good old school Humvee 1151 A1.
yeah.
Um, but I also remember. Let's go back to that traffic circle when the first one hit. I remember the vibration hitting us from the percussion of the blast. I remember my ears were ringing, and then we're like, There's dust in the Humvee from the IED going off. And then we having the small arm fire. We're returning fire, all that other fun stuff. I was just in the I was in the back seat passenger, so I couldn't engage the enemy because if I get out, I'm going to get shot, obviously.
Yeah.
So, but we were pushing through the objective. But it was just, and then I still remember to this day, kind of like the way it felt to me, at least the first one. Besides that, like, oh shit, I gotta piss myself, and as you said, was more of the. I remember it feels like stop motion, where you're seeing each of those scenes as it's kind of coming in. Like I felt like, as I know the blast went in like this, you felt the progression of the blast, but I felt like it was like choppy, like
Yes.
it was going like milliseconds. But I
It
know,
goes like in slow motion, bro.
yeah, that's it, slow
Everything
motion,
goes
and
in slow motion, and he's like, you feel like you're there forever, but it's just like matter of seconds, like this.
that's exactly what it was. Like I thought, like I know that just from the blast to the small arms fire, it felt like 3 to 5 minutes, but I know that this was no more than like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
But because it just felt so slow, as you're just your brain is registering to so much information at such a short period of time, you're like, that's the best way I can describe it. And I'm glad you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we went through that shit.
Yeah, I know you did too. So it's like, and it's one of those things that's funny, especially after the fact. Because I remember I was like, I want to get my CIB. I want to be, because every infantryman, you inspire to get your
Hey,
CIB.
that was the first, the one thing. Like, what do I do to get a CIB? You gotta get into a
Exactly.
fire. And like, you gotta get into a firefight. Well, can you get a CIB without getting into a firefight? No. Like, fuck.
But
Like, damn.
so but what made this but here's the other thing, and as I'm older now, 17 years in the military, and I have these conversations with our like lieutenants and our Joes. I mean, especially because right now we don't have any active wars going on anymore,
Thank God.
primarily. No, absolutely. But as somebody that's been to combat and things of this nature, and I've had this conversation with some lieutenants and some soldiers, they're like, "Well, I want to get." I'm like, "Dude, don't rush it." And me and one of my other buddies, he just retired, Sergeant First Class Zuniga, a good friend of mine. But we were talking about it. It's like, dude, don't rush it. Whenever it happens, and if it doesn't happen, be grateful because yes, getting a CIB is wonderful and it's a great experience, but there's a lot more to it, like somebody getting hurt, somebody dying possibly on your side, and nobody wants that. It's like the one person who we want to get nothing is the medic because that means it's a really bad day, as you would know.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm
Uh,
not gonna say names, but one of my medics got their the cat is yeah. He had a cat. He got a cab the wrong
yeah,
way. Like it's some medics that they kind of fake bullshit to get their cabs. I was pissed, bro, but it is what it is. You
it
know.
is what it is. But and for a while though, because of my situation, I felt like I didn't earn it as much. Because I mean, I didn't return fire, but I was on the side that was taking fire, so it would be stupid to,
Shit, that's you
jump
doing
out.
something.
Actually, and that's the truth. But it felt weird, like in comparison of like people like you, my brother, and other people with CIBs. And I talked to a few veterans when I used to go to the VFW more frequently when there was one close by my house. And they were like, no, you still earned it. You hit all the qualifications. Wear it with pride. Now, I don't wear it in my uniform 9 times out of 10.
Why not?
I'll explain. I don't wear my CIB and I don't wear my airborne wings. I wear it when I go in my dress uniform.
Nah,
So when
hell
my
no,
soldiers,
bro.
no. Hang on. It's different leadership philosophy. My soldiers are going to see me without it. So the day that I wear it, they're like, oh shit, I didn't know you had one of those, Sergeant. And I like that. I like that. You know what I mean?
Nah, look. Well, I guess it's different. Like for me, as soon as I got my airborne fucking wings and my CIB, shit, sewn the fuck on every top I had,
I
and I'll
used to
be
do it.
like, because
I used to do it.
look, think about it. I was a specialist. I was
Yeah.
a private. I was a PFC when I got my CIB, and then as a specialist being with a CIB and airsoft, man, bro, it was like, yeah, bitches, I want you to see what I got. Cause at the
Okay.
time it was some National Guard sergeants, NCOs that felt like they were the shit. They didn't even have a combat patch. And I like, bitch, don't tell me what to do. Like,
All right, but here's my counter argument. I wear my combat patch. I always wear my combat patch regardless of the fact. 9 times out of 10, I'm wearing my first cap patch. On a special occasion, I wear the good old Dirty Dorito first armor.
fuck you. You got a couple of them that you can wear. I only got one.
Yeah. Well, no, we're not done, bro. We're not done. I got the MMCI patch, which was from when I was in Iraq as well, so I can wear the multi-core national. And then 36 ID for the deployment in Djibouti because it was still considered Operation Enduring Freedom. So yeah, I got a couple patches.
Fuck you. Yeah, I only got a 4 Brigade 10 Mountain.
Hey, but it's still Tent Mountain, bro.
Yeah.
It's still Tent Mountain.
With the shit,
And,
motherfucker.
but it's always fun when my soldiers don't see me wear my stuff, and then I come in another day or something like that, and I'm now wearing my CIB and airborne wings. They're like, "We didn't know you had that, Sergeant." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, that's fine." Or like when I go in my dress uniform, and then they see me all decked out with all of in my Class A's with my CIB airborne wings, all
Man,
my
bro.
badges.
You know my Class A's are size medium. My fat ass ain't getting on my Class A's no more, bro. Bro,
Oh, by the way, I
I,
like the pinks and greens. I'm curious, what's your thoughts
when
about them?
when I was size large, I thought I was too fat, man. Imagine right now. Oh my
Yeah,
god, bro. My wife pulled out a shirt, like one of my shirts, the t-shirts that I wore in Afghanistan, and she got it hanging in the closet. I'm like, why the fuck you got this shirt hanging right here? So you remember, bro? It's a size medium, bro. You know how fat I feel like looking at that size medium shirt, like,
uh, so
dog,
were you in with the pinks and the greens, or did you just have the blues?
the blues.
Okay,
Well,
so I came
the
in.
greens, they were doing the transition from the greens to the blues. Like they wanted us to buy the greens, but I'm like, hell no, I'm not buying the greens. The blues are coming out. So
Yeah,
I waited until the blues came out.
so I had the greens. I was in the original, the old pickle suit,
A pickle,
as as it used to be affectionately called. Yeah, I don't fit in that one anymore.
nah,
I
bro.
ended up getting. I don't know if I still have it. Um, but yeah, no. So I've transitioned, and now we're getting ready to go into the pinks and greens. So I need to go get that uniform. I think it looks. I think it's the best looking uniform we've had for a dress
So
uniform in the military.
right now that we're talking about uniforms, man, you know you got more deployments than I do. But just during my, well, I had 2 deployments only. But my, how do you
Thank you for your
feel?
service.
How do you feel about us having to pay for our own uniforms, bro?
So I've got a unique perspective on this because active duty, you're given a stipend every year to pay for your uniforms as an enlisted member. Officers, they have to pay out of their own pocket altogether.
How
But we
many
do get an annual.
uniforms do we go through in 1 year?
Oh no, that's not. We're not there yet. You're given a stipend, so yeah, you're going to go through at least 4 to 5. If you had the ACUs, you were going through about 8 because
Eight or
they get
ten?
stained. 8 to 10 because they would get stained so badly.
Yes.
And then you would like I remember one time I just got out of Fort Benning. I'm a brand new private, and my first platoon sergeant, he sees me, and it's kind of got a orangish tint from Fort Benning at the
Yeah.
time, or whatever it's called now. But so I have this like orangish tint, and he comes up to me and he smells me because he thinks I'm just dirty and not showering. And I'm just a private who just got out of base. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I was just making sure you're not dirty. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, it's just the uniform. And then I bought new uniforms. So yeah, especially like with the old uniform when it was class or not class A, sorry, ASUs or not ASUs, Jesus, ACUs. It was awful because we were burning through it. Especially like as a private, I don't think you should be paying for it. So in the National Guard, we don't get paid as much as the active duty service members. We're only
Yeah.
doing it for that one day, and same thing for reservists as well. But in the National Guard, we get instead of a clothing allowance, what they do is they buy us those uniforms. Now, sometimes we get it on time, sometimes we don't. So you're using those uniforms, or you do what I have to do, especially if you're a non-commissioned officer. And this is where I was like, I'm going to say, you got to pay for it yourself because this is your representation. Those soldiers are going to, they're looking up to you.
So let me tell you what happened. When I
I'm not saying
realized
it's
that,
good.
when I realized that the army was so fucked up. During deployment, my wife had to send me uniforms, socks, shirts, everything, because we were the last cop on the. We were the last point of defense, bro. Put it like
Hmm.
that. Or a fob was about 7 clicks away from us. We used to go over there once a month to refeed and take our uniforms to get washed. We didn't have no water, no nothing. And my wife used to send us a lot of uniforms. Bro, whenever we were packing up, like towards the end, whenever we were packing up, helping pack up the old unit that was before us, they left one Connex right there. And our commander is like, hey, go open up that Connex to see what the heck is inside the Connex. It was one Connex full of uniforms. T-shirts, socks, ACUs. We reach out to the company. They're like, "Oh, it's because we get a budget for uniforms,
Yeah,
and
you do. You're supposed to.
if we don't spend it, they take it away from us. But you can
Hmm.
keep them, bro. I had the black
The
boxes.
tough boxes.
Boom, full of t-shirts, full of socks. Just pack them in, bro. Like pack them in. A la man, cause the commander is like, hey, leave it for the next unit. Man, fuck the next unit. I was just packing up my shit, bro. Like I told everybody that was with me in that detail, get you fucking at least couple of shirts and socks. Let's go. Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. Like that shit was ridiculous. We spent
So
so much money in uniforms out there, and to know that they got a budget for uniforms that we never get, I was pissed.
I'm going to go back to the thing about your wife because this I want to ask you. So the secondary currencies. So there's always money in the deployment, but there are secondary currencies. Especially if you grow up like from a Mexican household, things of this nature. The Lucas candy, the gancitos, and all those things. Or if you're from Texas, Big Red, and you
Big
get it
Red,
shipped
hey,
over. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like one time, and this just made me laugh because I remembered when you talked about this. So, um, I got the, I can't remember what it is. It's the one with the duck on it. It's got a chocolate, kind of like a Twinkie, but it's got a jelly in it, and it's covered in
okay,
chocolate. You know which one I'm talking about?
yeah,
The so I asked my dad back in the day to ship those over to me. So he shipped me some, and I was gonna get smoked because I may or may not have done something stupid as a young private. And then they looked and they're like, "Oh, you have those?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You know what? You have a good day. I'm gonna take two of these and walk away." So those secondary currencies that you get, unlike one time when I was in E6 and one of my soldiers in Djibouti, he got Big Red because I was like, we don't have Big Red here in the PX. I'm like, whose are they? Trying to find out whose Big Reds they were. And then I'm like, can I have one? He's like, yes. I'm like, thank God. Because it's like those little things that you don't get elsewhere that are, delicious or like a little surprise that go a long way, or like the Girl Scout cookies if you get them out there on the deployment, things of this nature. So it just popped in my head as we were talking.
yeah. Now, but man, back in the day during deployment was Big Red was one of the big things for me. After every mission, we used to go like 2, 3, 4 day missions. Every time that we came back, I had a Big Red. That was like my victory drink. Like I made it back.
My
So
third deployment was Topo Chicos.
Topo Chico.
I I
Yeah, I was not
I,
big
I
in
talked
Topo
about
Chico back in the day, man.
as I got older, I am. And so I told my wife, and of course she wouldn't send me the glass bottles, so she would send me the plastic
The
ones
plastic one.
only because you don't want them to break.
Yeah.
So she would send me like Topo Chicos, and I was like, oh my god, it's those little things, it's those little joys that just bring you so much happiness on a deployment.
Damn. Nah, bro, but man, let's take it back. So you've been in for 17 years. What are you doing now?
In the guard, I'm still an infantryman. I'm a section sergeant for a heavy weapons platoon. Um, and then in the civilian sector, what I do right now is I'm working in the school district here in Northside ISD, where I work with the technology and logistics. I actually got the job thanks to my military experience. And that's, I want to say, especially the infantry guys out there. Remember, you guys, we say that all we do is shoot stuff, blow stuff up. That's as much as that's true, and yes, that's what we do. We're doing other stuff. Think about it. As an NCO or even a senior specialist, you're setting up the logistics. You're making sure that you have the MREs, you have the food, weapon, water, ammo, all those things. Those are tasks that we're doing on a regular basis. And then, like I said at the beginning, I was on the COVID mission, and I was distributing to 18 counties across the city or state of Texas medical PPE. So I had a logistics experience even as an infantryman, and that's one of the good things I think about the Guard is you may not always work within your MOS to get jobs done. Um, so I ended up with that job. Right now, what I'm ultimately trying to do with it is that I'm going to try to go into the GS route, and now I have a year's worth of legitimate experience as in logistics between COVID, and so I'm trying to go the GS route. That's my ultimate end for me. Because
Man, and
working at the school district doesn't pay very well, but it's still nice to have the time off.
yeah. So how do I adjust from military to civilian?
I'm still adjusting. I ain't gonna lie. I got out in 2010, September 2010. I went to college. I got a degree. Um, and I was trying to figure this out. I was looking at probably going to into one or two programs, and it just things didn't work out. I had my second kid, and so we had to change priorities a little bit. Then I also went on orders, and that's one of the things also about I'd like to hit real quick. So if you're a reservist or National Guard, there are programs that you can go on active duty orders for like a year to 3 years with your unit. And it's just you get the same exact pay as active duty, you get the same benefits, and it can also decrease your retirement time to a much sooner date, depending on what type of orders they are. So one of those programs was called Tour Duty. Um, so you can find those little things. So I ended up working as I ended up doing odd jobs every once in a while. So I picked up where I was working for a year at the DLA, the Defense Logistics Agency, the ones that get us those MREs, uniforms, and all that stuff. I was a facility manager over there. Then I deployed to Djibouti, came back. I was looking at something, then COVID kicked off, or well, right before COVID, I was actually going to go and be a GS9, but because there was a bunch of deaths that ended up happening relating to a vehicle accident in Texas where people didn't do their jobs right in the military. And so two soldiers died. One was like paralyzed from the waist down, like a legitimate. So we had a safety sit band down, and I was going to go in there, be working the logistics side. However, COVID kicked off, all funding changed, and that job disappeared. And then I went from there to COVID. Worked as a defense contractor for a period of time. After that, I wasn't happy doing that. I was paying pretty good money, but I wasn't happy. And then I ended up working at the school district where one, I'm treated with dignity and respect, and I like it. And it's good to have that time off to be there with family. Just doesn't pay the best. So I'm looking to go the GS
So
route now.
so you've
Sorry,
been
it's a lot.
you
I've
experienced
been
the
around.
military back in the day, and you got the experience right now. How do you feel about our military now? Be like comparison from back then when it was our time to this time.
I'm really conflicted. I understand from a rational standpoint, the soldiers are new generation, new things. Technology is not going away. It is what it is. Uh, I in some ways I feel that they are very soft, but I think that they tend to be that way also because they haven't experienced combat like you and I did in our times. You know what I mean? That changes the mentality of which we are. And right now we're not a war fighting military at this current junction.
But shouldn't okay? Think about the way we were raised as young
Oh no
private.
no oh no I absolutely know where you're going with this, and that's why I'm saying like I'm going to say that piece now. I'm going to speak for me. I'm not speaking as Sergeant Salinas, but I'm speaking as Dereck. Legitimately
Okay.
speaking, yeah, I think that these soldiers should get smoked to the ends of the earth, and but also like you said, because I'm now talking about it from a National Guard perspective. You knew when you were in the reserves too that it is a very different animal because you only have them for like what 2 days out of the week or 2 days out of the month, and then 2 weeks in the summer. generally speaking. So you can't really coast those behaviors that you really are trying to foster that you could do on active duty. Unfortunately, it's just the reality of what it is. You can try, like when
man. But
you
it's
like
just
ripped into that soldier. I
like,
and I think that they need to have that discipline because I still go to, not because I'm a staff sergeant, but because I grew up in the old school army and I joined the army active duty first. I go to parade rest for special, or not specialists. I'm sorry, sergeant first classes, to, first sergeants, sergeant majors. I address them by their rank. I make sure to salute the officers, all that stuff. That those little simple things are very important, but Joes don't understand it all the time. I really do believe that. Just like when you were talking about that story about that warrant officer, he's like, "Well, no, calm down," and you're like, "No, this is not the appropriate answer." I fully agree with you.
yeah,
I think that the hazing is definitely an area where I'm more I agreement with the army now. I mean, I'm not saying that hazing wasn't bad or things of this
bro. It
nature.
was not hazing. It was just building you as a soldier. We went through
No,
it.
no,
I
no,
gave it to people,
oh,
and
no, no. You're not wrong. But let me say this much though. But when it gets to the point where some soldiers actually start hurting themselves, that's when it's going over. And I think that that says leaders, you need to know those boundaries of your soldiers. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because they're not everybody is made the same. I can take an ash chewing or a smoke session for days. It's just it is what it is. I grew up in that army, same as you did. But I
oh
think that
no,
you know,
don't get me
but
wrong.
but
I seen the other side. I seen I had to get in between soldiers that were trying to commit suicide.
yeah,
'Cause they thought they were getting they were getting picked on, and I seen both sides to the coin. But
and that's what I'm saying is
whenever you talk to those soldiers and tell them, hey, look, this is why we're doing what we're doing. This person did it the wrong way, but let me take care of you. It's it's different, bro. But I feel like being in the military, you gotta have a state of mind that you always gotta be ready for battle. You don't
absolutely,
know
and
what's gonna happen right now.
but you
And
also got to
right now, if I talk to old veterans, I will go out with old veterans, but I will not join the new military to go to war. I will not take none of these clowns to go to war with me right now. And that's sad, bro. That's sad because I feel like the military is going too soft. We
Hang
don't
on
need no
just a
soft.
second. Ah, give me a second. I'm something hit the audio.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, give me a minute. There's an issue with my audio. Yeah, screw it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
All right. I'll try to figure this audio thing out real quick while we're doing this. But no, I don't disagree with you on that piece. I really don't. Sound a soldier.
to find the soft spots on a Bradley, it's good for them. You,
uh,
okay, I got you. Can you hear? Were you able to hear what I said?
yeah. I was able to hear you.
And I think it's good to smoke soldiers, especially when they are brand new. They need to understand that there is a relationship and there's a pecking order, and they need to understand that like the things that you did before you were in the military don't always work here. You know what I'm saying? I fully agree with that. I also think well, my bigger issue is not so much that I don't care about the hazing thing. More mine is the questions why, Sergeant? Because I told you it's what happens. Sometimes you have to do this detail.
Yeah.
And I'm not hazing you. It's just it needs to get done. Do you want to go home? Do you want to drive in a vehicle that's not going to get you injured?
Yeah, it's like to me when I was growing in my military career, I seen a lot of NCOs would give us dumb shit to do. But whenever I got in charge of my soldiers, I was the one sergeant that would be like, "Hey, let's knock this shit out, get it done with, go to the barracks. If you married, go to the barracks and stay there. I cannot send you home because you're not gonna make it in time. But if you stay in the barracks, you're good." So I would send my soldiers to the barracks, and they knew like if I call you, you ask us to be here in 5 minutes, or else I'm gonna have you doing dumb things here when I don't need you. So that was like me. I thought my soldiers that we were gonna do what we needed to do, and we could have done it in like 5, 10, 20 minutes if we apply ourselves. And then you got the rest of the day off because there's no need to have them there when I'm the one doing the work. Because you know, as an NCO, we're the ones doing
Hmm.
with the bullshit, with the paperwork, with the accountability. So that's on our side. It's not their side. So I always took care of my soldiers, and I told him, "Hey, look, outside the uniform, I see you as a friend. But once you cross that line, when I put my uniform on, we're gonna have a problem. Like once I got this uniform on, yes, sergeant, no sergeant. But if you fucking cross this line, is when we're gonna have a problem." So they understood that they can come up to me as a friend with their problems, and they understood that once the uniform was on, was sergeant, you know. And a lot of NCOs they didn't do that for us, man. So it's like I was not soft. I used to beat the shit out of my soldiers. Not once I call him my name, I'll be like, "Hey, fuck face. Which one, Sergeant? You get over here." Why? So they understand that is I'm telling.
Hey, are you there? One. Okay. I don't know if he's coming back or do I need to hang up, but I'll just stay on here. See if there's any questions. Um, Anybody got any questions then? So I'm here while he's trying to figure this out. You there, one?
Yeah, can you see me?
Yeah, I see you.
Not good.
It's you're kind of frozen, but yeah, I see your image.
No, it's man, hold on, let me see. The BA was giving me a call back. Hopefully it
No,
comes
no,
back
gotcha.
up. Let me see.
Your wife thinks that maybe the tablet was overheating.
No, 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 no. I'm inside. I'm inside the garage. Hey, baby, you're watching this. Can you hear me? I don't want to kill the live right now just yet. The
Yeah,
BA was calling me. I got an appointment.
I just
That's
got
why.
done with mine.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to go with the phone.
No, I understand.
Hey, can
Um,
you hear me?
oh, I hear you. Can you
Okay,
hear
yeah,
me?
we back on. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It's the BA telling me that I got an appointment, upcoming appointment.
Well, that's
But
good.
yeah, bro, like I was saying, is like I feel like the military is going soft. The reason why I wanted to talk to you is because you still in. I wanted to get your opinion on it, and what, like if
But
anyone is watching right now and they thinking about joining, or what would you tell them?
uh, okay, actually, so let me tell you. Did I ever tell you why I joined the military?
No,
So I was screwing up in college a little bit. At that time, my dad was paying for it, and I did pay him back after I joined the army with my bonus. But I flipped a coin. I flipped a coin. Heads, I'd stay in college. Tails, I'd join the military to get a little bit of discipline, or one of those things. But essentially, I flipped, and it said go to the military, and that's the only reason I joined the military. Not some God country or everything in between. Even though, yes, my father was in the military, he was just about to retire. Things of this nature. He was a medic, combat medic, 68 whiskey. But that's why I joined the military. I've stayed in the military because I like the organization. Okay, now it's working. By the way, the video is working.
hell right.
Okay, but I joined, but I'd say yes. I think people should join the military for a few reasons. One, it's a good place to get some discipline if you need it. Even from an education standpoint, it's great if you want to go to college or go to a trade school, things of this nature. Um, but the biggest reasons I'd honestly say this is I think service of your country is an important thing, and it is a great opportunity for you to serve your nation. I'm not saying that everybody has to or should, but I think it is a good thing. It's something something I truly do believe in, and that's one of the biggest reasons I do still stay in. I mean, there are days I'm saying I want to file for divorce from the military all the time because, as you know, being in the military is a marriage,
Yeah.
very abusive marriage, but a marriage nonetheless. But the military, it can be a wonderful organization. It has its problems. I will never deny it. We do have some major problems, and there's areas where we need to really improve. But we are getting better. Um, I highly encourage people to consider doing this, but at the same time, I would also say this very important statement. Understand what you're signing up. You are giving your life away. You're giving your rights away because you do lose some of those rights of freedom of speech because you can't do X, Y, or Z, do certain things, and that's true. You can't say something in uniform without getting in trouble with the military, especially if it's like a political stance or something of that nature. So there are your rights do get limited in that capacity, and if you have a bad career and you are a horrible soldier or a bad person, you once you get a dishonorable discharge, that's going to follow you anywhere you go.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's not a great. I think it's a great organization, the military. I think it has its problems. I also, like you said, consider looking at. Even though I say infantry is the best because it is, and we're awesome and we're better than everybody because we know it. Um, honestly, look at the other fields in the military, whatever the branch may be, because there are a lot of other jobs that are going to do better by you when you get out of the military.
That I was gonna touch that point. Yeah, I tell you know why we joined the infantry because it's infantry or nothing, right? But once you get out the military, your options are limited to security. Security, police officer, anything
Construction.
related to that. But it's like people don't want to hire you because that's the only thing. What do you know how to do? Work on weapons, inventory,
Well,
this and that. So it's not really much that we can do. So whenever I tell people you want to join the military, okay, do something that is gonna help you, benefit you whenever you get out. Because if you go infantry, let's be honest, if you don't want to be a police officer, infantry is not for you.
the only time the infantry is going to really benefit you in a substantial way is if you make a career of it and you make like first sergeant, sergeant first class, you're a major, um, on hire because you're or even I'd say probably even as a company commander, so as a captain, because
Yeah.
at those points you are managing large pools of personnel and equipment. Objectively speaking, excuse me. So the reality is, yes, I truly do believe. I mean, don't get me wrong. The military overall has been good to me for the most part. I've had bad days. I've had good days. It's just like any other organization or any other job. Um, but it's also what you get out of it is what you get out of it too. Use and abuse the military because they're going to use and abuse you. Kind of one of those things I say. It's like use all the benefits you got, whether you want to go to college or you want to give your college benefits to your kids, or you want to, I don't know, like there's a lot of tuition assistance programs for this military or the for the service members and their spouses. There are there are a lot of programs that service members are not made aware of. So hey, use your resources.
And
Look
it's
at
one of
those.
the things that a lot of people don't understand. And like, say for example, I'm gonna speak about myself. When I first got out of the military, I had some health issues, and I was paying out of my own pocket until I talked to your dad. Gilberto asked me like, "Is the VA taking care of you?" And I'm like, "Who the heck is the VA? What is the VA?" I didn't know what the VA was. I didn't know they can take care of me. So he's like, "Look him up." He looked him up here in Houston, sent me the address, and I went and talked to him. Sat down with a counselor, talked to the counselor. We went over my discharge paperwork, everything. I did my physical whenever I went in, and they told me all the benefits that I could qualify for. And a lot of veterans didn't know anything about it. So whenever after my first surgery through the VA, you know, I came back as a 60% disabled veteran. So, mind you, I didn't know nothing about disability benefits that I would have. So I got a bunch of cash sending it to my account, and I told my wife, "Do not touch that money, because you know how the military is. If
Yeah.
they make a mistake and they send you that money, they're gonna want that money back right away, and they don't care if you have it or not. They're gonna take it away from you." So I called him up. I was like, "Hey, y'all deposit some money. This money don't belong to me. Get this out of my account." They're like, "No, that's your back pay." For what? I'm not active duty no more. Those are your benefits. So they're like, wait for the letter, and then the letter is gonna explain everything to you. They couldn't give me no information over the phone. So
Yeah.
I got the letter saying that they back paying me 4 months for my disability. That's what the money came from. So I was like, all right, well, how often? Or this is a one-time thing. What it is? Come to find out, it's for life, right?
Yep.
So I was like, all right. So after my third surgery, I got bumped to 100% disabled veteran. So boom, I got
No
a.
property taxes in Texas.
You already know. So I got my second check, and I call him. Hey, you overpaid me this month. Get this money out of my bank account. They're like, sir, you got bumped up to 100%. And like, what that means? Well, we gotta pay you 100% since the time you got out until now, bro. It was a year back pay, bro.
Yeah.
You know how beautiful that was?
Oh, I believe it.
Bro, like it was like holy shit. And I went, like any other person would be fine with it. I wasn't. I went and talked to my counselor, one of the counselors at the VA, and I told him, is it a way that I can give this money back to you? And the guy looked at me crazy. He's like, why? I like, because I feel I don't deserve this money. Like I'm okay with you taking care of me, but it's a lot of homeless veterans. Can we give? Is it a way that they're like those homeless veterans? They still get money. If they are in the system, everybody gets money. They don't want to use the money. They don't want to use the benefit. There's nothing we can do. And then the guy was like, I was like, still, I want to get this money back. And the guy got mad and he's like, look, I'm gonna tell you something. I look at your file. You deserve this money. And then he's like, it's guys that never seen combat that are making more money than you are. And I was like, what do you mean if they never seen combat? Bro, do you know that people that got kicked out of basic training, they still collect benefits from the military because they claim PTSD from basic training? How
Um,
stupid
I
that is.
do know that
When I
now.
find out that people that didn't even made it and they were collecting money for PTSD through basic training, and then some other soldiers that never been deployed before, they're collecting benefits for PTSD. I like you never been deployed before. How you collecting money for PTSD?
Okay,
Because
I'm
we
gonna
got.
go a little dark with this though. Hang on, hang on. I'm gonna go a little dark on this statement.
Go ahead.
Y- Um, some of those soldiers legitimately do have PTSD because here's the thing that we all have to understand about veterans as a whole. You may never have served combat. That doesn't mean that you couldn't have been nearly killed in a training incident or shot or injured, because we do know that that does happen,
Yeah.
right? So there could be legitimate claims on why they may have it. They could be, I mean, let's be real. The military does also have a problem in the past and probably presently still with sexual harassment and assault.
Well, you.
Every organization's not perfect, and let's call a spade there. So, legitimately speaking, yeah, these people could be having it for other things that have nothing to do with combat, but were legitimately happening in their time of service. Also, let's go to a really dark fairyland real quick. If you get into a severe car accident and you have your family in there with them, and then they were to die, it's probably going to mess you up, legitimately speaking.
I didn't
And
think
that was
about that.
still while it's still while you served in the military. So that happened while you were serving in the military. So my statement, and let me give you another one, legitimately something that happened to me in the last couple of years. When I went to ALC, somebody died in the training there. It kind of sucked. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. You expected, like, as an infantryman, people die in combat only, but people do
Yeah.
die in training too. It takes its toll on you. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I say yes. Generally speaking, I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, we don't know these people's individual experiences and what happened. So I just say, hey, give it a little bit of grace because something crazy could have happened.
Well, I'm gonna give it that, but then whenever like for look at the explanation, the guy told me he's like a lot of people claim that they have so much training in them that they couldn't use, so they don't know what to do with that training they have. So they always watching, always like, "Ah, well, I mean that's bullshit." Like, what?
I'm not saying that there isn't people because we all know and we've all heard stories of people collecting disability and are lying through their teeth and then they get busted for fraudulently abusing the
Yeah,
system. But it's just like anything else, like I say. There are great soldiers in the military, but there are also some pieces of shit in there.
yeah, no, but it's like whenever I find out about the benefits, bro, I was feeling guilty at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like I had this conversation with a couple of my friends, and not too long ago, it was 2 weeks ago. My brother Carlos, we were having this conversation, and he's like, "Bro, you know, oh, the one that I told you that I do a live with him on Wednesdays."
Yeah.
He's like, "Look, man, I know I'm always talking shit, but you talk about the benefits you got, and in my eyes, you deserve that money. You serve your country. You did shit that I wouldn't do. So why are you feeling like you don't deserve that money? Because even sometimes today, bro, it's like I see like, man, bro, I'm blessed to be where I am. I'm living good. I'm living comfortable. But it's like I feel kind of guilty sometimes. I don't know why.
And I think it's I have a perspective on this one. I first and foremost, I think that we all feel that way. We do. If you come back from combat, not all of your friends always do. So you're always going to feel at least a little guilty for that, possibly. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter whether you were in the same combat zone as them or not. Because I know, hell, I even know a few friends from high school back in the day. They weren't in my unit, but they died in Afghanistan. They died in Iraq, and you still feel like shit knowing that some of them are not everybody comes home. And then you're getting these benefits that you did for serving your country, whether you knew about them or not. It feels kind of weird. Like, don't get me wrong, grateful, but at the same time, it's like you you didn't serve to do it for this or that and in between. So when these things happen to you and you're given these things, yes, you're gonna feel weird.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you did deserve them. You gave years of your life. Let's be real. You already married, right? When you joined the
Yep.
military, you
Yep.
already had kids, if I remember right.
Yep.
So let me ask you this question: what was your total deployment time away from your family?
Oh, I was away for out of the 5 years that I was in the military, I was home for about a year and a half.
Okay, so a year and a half you were gone.
No,
Now,
no,
how
no. I
much?
was gone
Oh,
for three and a half
oh,
years.
okay, never mind. So you
I
were
was
gone three and
home
a
for
half
a year
years.
and a half. The
Can't
rest of
tell
the
me.
time, I
Yeah,
was out deployed or in training.
that's where I was going to go to the next piece, which was the training. But here's the thing: so you lost three and a half years of your time
Yeah.
from your family. You and they also learn to adapt, and which is also what is one of those struggling pieces when you go away and you come back and your family adapts without you, and you're like, well, this sucks. I want to be a part of it, but you're not sure how to maneuver into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also let's be real, your family served. I mean,
Yeah.
they.
Hey, I'm not lying. A lot of people don't know, but it's like the first time I went away and I came back, my daughters were scared of me because they didn't recognize me. They didn't know I was their dad. That they
Yeah,
just looking at me like crazy, like who the heck is this guy? I
and
guess the
that's
real
that's.
daddy was around when I wasn't here.
When your wife beats you later, know that I'm gonna laugh at you. Okay, but I say this from that perspective though, man. Like your family serves with you. It's
Yeah.
so easy, especially if you're a single soldier. It is so much easier because you don't have to worry about anybody else other than the person on your left and your right. And it's always you're right. Your wife is absolutely right. It's hard on them, but it was also hard on you. Let's be real, because especially the reality is, you're like your husband's in a combat zone. You're like Is he okay? Why is he not
My
talking to
mom,
me
bro,
today?
my mom was really, really
Yeah,
bad.
but I'm saying like that, absolutely. And there's nothing worse when you're like, you usually have that schedule of when you're going to hit and shoot a message when you can, but then somebody somewhere else, it may not even be in your unit, does get killed, or there's somebody injured severely, and then they do a blackout, and then they're like, what's going on?
Hey, so let me tell you a story
Am
about
I
blackout.
wrong?
Let me tell you a blackout story real quick. You know, we were at the cop, right? And we only had one. We only had one phone, so we used to rotate every half an hour, right? That was for max time.
Hmm.
So I'm on the phone calling my mom, right? I'm on the phone with my mom, and while we are talking, we start getting attacked, bro. Like, mind you, she's on the phone with me, and you hear the 50 cows fucking Mark
Yeah.
dudes blasting like everything, and then boom, the line just cuts off. I was
Yeah.
like, fuck, I cannot. I knew my mom heard everything. She's like,
Yeah.
what's happening? What's going on? Are you okay? Are you like something happened? So my mom was super scared, bro. So the line dropped, and I was like, holy crap. So I called right back. And my mom was crying, bro. My mom was crying. She like, what's going on? Are you okay? I was like, look, we're doing a training exercise. I didn't know it was gonna go out today. We just got new trucks, so we testing the trucks out. And she like, I thought you got killed. That's why you hang up. Blah blah blah. I like, no, I'm good, but I gotta give the phone to the next guy. She like, so you okay? Like, yeah, I'm okay. All right, well, now I'm more comfortable. Whenever I heard that she came down, bro, I hanged the fucking phone and I ran to my point real quick. So it was like it was crazy, bro. Like I was not expecting that, especially when I was on the phone with my mom. Loco siete. Know a few people who didn't have the support at home or deployed. When they came back, they didn't have the family keys uh, there to help them. Family serves too. Loco, you are right, Loco. One of the
Yeah.
things that I'm blessed for is having my girl is still next to me. I'm gonna tell you something that I told her. It's gonna sound like I'm an asshole, but I'm like I was trying to be real. My first deployment, I knew I was gonna be out for a year, and you hear a lot of stories about people committing suicide in Afghanistan because of their family back home.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I told my wife is like, look, I might be out for a year. If you decide to find someone else because I'm not here, I understand. That's your choice. I'm just gonna ask you for one thing. Don't fucking tell me while I'm deployed, and when I get back, don't fucking try to take my kids away from me. My kids always gonna be mine. You can do whatever fuck you want, but don't take my kids away from me, and don't tell me while I'm deployed. And she was crying. She's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Look, I'm just being honest, bro. You don't understand the stories of people committing suicide because they get a call that Jody is back home with your wife. You don't
Yeah.
understand how people go crazy like when you're over there for a year.
Well, I mean, because it's so hard because all you have is time to think. Let's
Yes,
be and let something fester.
yeah, and you
Legitimately
can do
speaking.
shit about it.
Yeah.
So it's like we had those conversations.
You there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Somebody was calling. I had to
Yeah.
hold on. Let me see. Ah, the camera froze again.
It's fine, but we can still have that conversation. And I agree with you, and I've seen it, and
So,
you've seen it.
so it's like people don't understand that family is it helps a lot, man. It helps a lot coming back home and having people with you.
But it's also hard on them too, especially like let's be real. Fort Polk isn't the furthest place from Houston,
Oh no,
but it's still not super close either. Your wife, I don't know whether your wife went home or your wife stayed in
they will go
Fort
back and
Polk.
forward.
So you know what I'm saying? Like legitimately, it's not
She
easy on
spent
the
all my
family.
money.
But hey, it's her money too. But like legitimately speaking, like these are those things that we don't factor in, and these are things that we we always thank the soldiers. We always thank the soldiers, the service members. But we also got to thank those families because those families make sacrifices too. And so, like at the school district, when I work and I find out one of those kids got is a military brat, like, hey, thank you for your family service and thank you for what you do as well as a kid. Because it's like, I I grew up as an army brat. I also served in the military, so I get it. And now I'm, 17 years in, married for 12. So my wife's been in at least with the National Guard side for a while, and she's very supportive. Not always on the best of terms with what goes on, but it happens. But none of us can survive without those families. And
Yeah.
deployments really do suck, especially when you have those doubts or you find out when one of your buddies like gets that Dear John letter or and finds out that Jody came in and ruined his life.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to say some of them aren't self-inflicted wounds, like the soldier that married the stripper the night before or the week before. Oh, I
Hey
love
man.
her.
Oh, the
Hey, it
soldier that
happens.
married the stripper after he got back from deployment because he got too much money.
Or right before the deployment. I've seen that one
Bro.
too. So,
Bro.
like those are self-inflicted wounds. Um,
Yeah.
now,
Yeah, and then we
like,
had a lot of them that they came back home to find out that their wives were stripping while they were gone. It
yep,
was, bro. It's a lot of craziness in the
yeah.
military that people
But
don't
I
understand.
mean, and on the other side of it, though, just as much as we say that, our peers, let's be real, some of them come back with substance abuse problems. Some of them come back broken. I mean, combat does that to you. It's not a normal situation. It doesn't matter who you are. Combat is not a normal thing that most people deal with. I'm grateful. I pray to God that my children never see combat in their lifetime, like we have. But it is what it is. Um, I wouldn't have an issue if my kids ever join the military, but if they don't, they don't. Like I know my oldest is never going to join the military, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Um, I encourage anybody if they want to join the military, absolutely. Just understand that there are major consequences of you joining the military. Like you have some limiting on your rights. You have a security clearance. It can ruin your jobs if you are a piece of shit. And you should, because if you get a dishonorable discharge, well, that's going to follow you wherever you go. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it's a great organization. I mean, it's not perfect. No organization's perfect, but we're getting better. Um, and I have a perspective, like I said, both from an active duty perspective. I have a perspective from a reservist perspective. I think service is a wonderful thing, and I also say, hey, go get your money. Um, if you got injured while being in the military and things of this nature, you are
Yeah.
entitled to those VA benefits. And it's not just that, like, depending on what state you are in, there are also state benefits as well. So one of the perk sides here in Texas, outside of, well, if you had 100%, you get your taxes paid off, or you
That's
don't pay
right.
taxes on your house. But another one, your vehicle, you can get the license plate. I think it's at 60%.
The first
You
one.
can get for the first vehicle. Yeah, you only pay what, like $8 a month instead of,
I
or
think it's
not,
like
$8 a year.
$7 a year.
Yeah, $7, $8 a year versus the $78. You can go to
Yep.
state national parks and things of this nature. There are a lot of resources out there for you there. Uh, USA Cares, uh, uh, Wounded Warrior Project, Purple Heart Association. There are so many organizations that American Legion, Veterans of Foreign War. All these organizations have resources, and they have a lot of things out there. And I always want to push that out there as an additional resource for service members.
I got you.
Um, don't be ashamed, like legitimately, to ask for help. Go to the VA because I know most of us come back, especially if you're infantry or any of the jobs. Dude, your body is not the way it was. Your body has aged dramatically. Rocking takes its toll on your knees. Going to airborne school, going to air assault school, jumping out of vehicles, carrying all that combat weight that you were carrying for a year at a time. It's and let's be real, it's not always the most beneficial way. And if you're like a 240 gunner or a saw gunner, you've got even more ammo and weight
60
on your body.
millimeter mortar,
Mortarmen, absolutely. So your body's not going to be where it once was, and the experiences that which you have in the military
Yeah.
aren't always going to be great. Sometimes they are. So some people are going to come back. They're going to be injured. And another resource out there for behavioral health wise, vet centers. That's a resource for veterans where they can go and talk to counselors. They can do it like couple counseling. They can do individual anger management. It's a resource out there where it doesn't go into your record. But if you need to talk to people, it's a VA program. It's out there. Use it.
Now that one is a good one. When I first came out of the military, I was messed up in the head. Well,
Hmm.
I still messed up in the head. But I went through 2 years with my psychiatrist. At the beginning, I didn't want to talk to anyone about anything. But I got anger issues. I started noticing my changes. So when my daughters told me like, "Hey, daddy, you need help," like my daughters told me that I needed help, that made me go seek out help. And I went out and I spent 2 years with a psychiatrist. And now is I still want to kill people, but not as much as I. Bro, it's because some people are just so dumb, bro. Like they just bring that out of me. Now, but no, on the real note, like it did help though. It did help me a lot. It helped me to calm down. It helped me to manage my you know, my stress,
Hmm.
uh, focus that on different ways. And one of them is my cars, bro. That's the reason why I got so many junks. Because, like, to me, it's a stress reliever. Not just
Absolutely.
working on them, but like just getting on the cars, riding, going out for a cruise. That takes, it helps me. So go out. You need help. It's nothing wrong. You don't want to talk to a counselor. You don't want to be a psychiatrist. Call one of us. It's always
Where,
the
yeah,
call one
there,
of us, man.
and I really want to press this one hard because I've had several people I know from the military after they got out. Some of them that were in committing suicide. Yes, there are bad times. They do get better, and we're all out there. We're a family. We are a family. Talk to your family,
Yep.
and I
So
don't
we've been
necessarily
in.
mean your biological family, but like talk to your family. We're there for you as well. I'm sorry.
So we've been in for a little bit over an hour, man. Let's finish this with a positive note. What you got, man? I know I'm froze right now, but
No,
what you
no.
got?
I'm just honestly, I'm grateful that we are having this conversation. This is wonderful. Like I said to you before you even did this with me. I think you have something really special here, and I think you should continue to pursue this. This is a wonderful conversation, and you should continue doing it.
Appreciate you.
Um,
Appreciate you.
like I said, also I will shoot you some resources as well in a little bit,
Look,
so that you
send
can
me
push it.
those links, and once the video is up, and I get those links, I'm gonna attach them to the comments. That way,
Hmm.
people can go check them out. If they need help, they know what to go or where to go. Help
Absolutely.
them out a little bit. And again, you know more than me right now. I've been out of the military for a minute, but you're still in. And to be honest with you, I know it's resources that I can tap in, but I don't know what it is. I know somehow one veteran was telling me that my kids can get a health insurance through my 100% my family, but I haven't looked into it yet. So I still gotta do my homework sometimes.
So there's also some scholarships. So should your spouses want to use, and it's also applies for veterans, not just service members. Sometimes. Um, that the spouses can go to get scholarships to go to college, English as a second language, work on a doctorate, things of this nature. There are a lot of resources. I'm going to send it over to Juan so that you all have that as a resource. But I just want to push it out there. There's a lot for service members, for veterans. Um, use your resources because the military
So
used and abused you. and I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just it is what it is.
So why I
Use your
gotta be
resources.
a English second language because I'm Mexican? That's fucked up.
No. Well, but I've had soldiers whose spouses did
I'm
not speak
messing with you.
English.
Yeah, I'm
No, but I'm
messing with
saying,
you,
like,
bro.
legitimately, I've had a spouse that the only language they spoke was Chinese, and you're like, ooh, I can't really translate very well because I also, when I was a contractor, I was a family readiness support specialist.
Yeah,
So you got to find those resources where you can.
yeah. I got you.
You dick.
Well,
Dedicated
brother, I
infantry
just want to
combat killer.
thank you for giving me some of your time.
Hmm.
Uh, appreciate you. Send me those links, and I'm gonna link him up at the end once this video is uploaded.
Hmm.
And hopefully, man, we get another video once I go over there to San Antonio, man.
Yeah,
It's been a minute, so we gotta get together. And I definitely gotta go because you ass owes me a fucking beer, and I'm gonna
I
collect.
do.
Just so you
Hey,
know.
hey, I lost. I can admit when I lost.
I'm gonna collect. So, man, I guess I know I'm frozen right now. Y'all cannot see me, but I appreciate y'all watching, man. Again, Dereck Salinas, my brother from another mother,
Yes.
here in the building with us. So hopefully we can continue this conversation later on. I'm gonna put all the links that he's gonna send me at the comment section at the bottom once this video is uploaded. And again, thank you for watching, man. Catch me on the next one. Dereck,
All right.
anything before we go?
I'm like I said, I'm just gonna be in a few minutes sending out a bunch of resources to push in there so that you have it. And if y'all ever have questions, you can go to him or through me, and I'll try to connect you with some additional resources. We're one family, remember that. And it was a wonderful conversation. One.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Already.
Bye.